Okay, hello everyone. Um, for this video, I wanted to show you what students would see on an Android device on their phone um, and some of the issues they may run across. So if they went to Google Classroom, uh, they're looking at all their classes, and let's say they go into their math class and click on classwork, they find their teacher, and then they click on one of the assignments. Now, if they click on this one, this is where Mr. Lima put an area where students could load their responses. Okay. Now, students would have to open it in Google Docs. See, but right here, instantly, you see there it says view only. All right. Students have to be aware that their work is going to be underneath, right? And it will have their name attached to it when the teacher makes a copy for them for each student. Now, sometimes when they're first getting on and using this, that doesn't always pop up right away. So let's say they're going quickly. That one says it. And this one, it only has a PDF that they could read. And then that's where they might want to request access to edit. They can't do it. This, maybe they could write on it, perhaps, in that sense. But then not much after that. So let's say if they go into another one, see now it's showing my name. So that's the assignment they use. They would have to click on it and they would have to have the Google apps, the Google Docs app, and they could edit it themselves right from their phone, no problem. Right, just like so. Okay, so when students go through the problems, whatever the answers will be, they could save it. It automatically saves. And they go back to the assignment and they could click the turn in button and turn in their work. All right, but sometimes when you're first using it, that attachment with their name on it does not pop up. So they have to be aware of this. And I'm showing them I could upload this video to YouTube, or I have a separate one for students. But now another issue that we're finding, let's say they're in a class, and the teacher created a quiz for them to take. With Androids, they get this message, they go to the Play Store, and because of our security purposes with using this DOE or accounts, and the student accounts do the same thing, and we don't have access to download that type of an assignment. But if the teacher creates, again, a space for them to do so, they could do that, or they could add an attachment and then they could create their own space. It'll load. It takes time to load, but boom, you know. Or like Miss White was saying, they could take a photo for work or something that they're doing, and they could take an image of it if they have a physical print of it, and then they could send it in that way as an attachment. And it would have to wait to load, and then the image pops up there, and then they could click turn in and send it to the teacher. So there are various ways around it. The only issue here is from the phone, they won't be able to see the quiz. Now, I made a separate video with a student who was using his iPhone. On iPhone, they have this screen where it has choices. There says they could use Safari, and they could actually do it in Safari. For the Samsung, one student had Samsung, and they gave him two options: either use Chrome or Samsung. The Samsung internet is the one that worked. So this doesn't quite work for Chrome. And I've been kind of playing around with these are all the work documents that are created when students are required. So, what's going to happen is when students download Google Classroom, the regular one that most people have access to, the general public, it's going to require them to set up their DOE accounts with this. This is like an extra security feature for Google. So they'll put their information, their student email. They have to basically create a work profile in order to use it. Now, the thing is, you get lost in a loop where you have to come back and do this over and over again because you don't realize that they create a separate work app for all of these Google apps. And you have some access to only these apps right here: Classroom, Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Hangout Meets. And that's the only apps that you can do. See, I tried to look for slides. It doesn't have slides in their work Google Play Store. Forms to do the quiz, they don't have those. So for certain features, students are not going to be able to do certain assignments, but I did show alternative ways they could possibly do the work. And I think that's pretty much the gist of it. I mean, getting these work apps is kind of a tedious process because students have to have their DOE student emails, and then they have to go through this. See, like it continues to give the notification that action required. If they don't do it properly, it's going to keep showing that until they take care of it. So I see a lot of students going into a loop where they continuously try to create a work profile when it's already kind of there after they do it once. They just have to be aware of that.